Hello and welcome to Efficient Strategy Gaming. Today we're going to be playing Axis and Allies 1942 as Germany, and I wanted to show you guys a good opening turn strategy. So let's get into it here. So as Germany, all you need to do to win the game is hold Moscow for a turn. So you need to make your way all the way to Moscow and then hold it for one turn. So a good way to do that is to purchase all infantry turn 1. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I purchase all infantry. You have about 9 tanks, 5 fighters, and 1 bomber, something around there. And you're fighting a land war in Asia. So you're going to burn through a lot of units. And the cheapest unit is the infantry, and the cheapest unit with a decent defense is also infantry. And in this game, when you're in combat, you get to select which unit gets to die first. So you just roll for hit dice, and then you yourself assign the hit dice. And what you should be doing is assigning the hit dice almost every time to a unit that costs less. And that'll always be infantry if you're playing Axis and Allies. So basically what I'm saying is you're going to burn through those first, and then we won't hopefully need to replenish the more expensive looking units like the tanks and the planes, because all the hits go onto the infantry and not onto the more expensive units. So to say that in another way, you're preserving the expensive units that you have at the beginning of the game, and you're going to assign all your hit dice to the infantry units, the cheapest unit. That's why we bought all infantry. So first turn here, a lot going on. Let's simplify it here. There's going to be 3 attacks. There's going to be an attack in Leningrad, and it has a factory and a production of 2. So basically, I can start spawning 2 units in there, not this turn, not the turn I take it, but the turn after. Or I'm sorry, yeah, Leningrad, Karelia. And then the second thing here is, what we want to do with our attacks is cause an imbalance. So IPCs are basically dollars in this game, and what we want to do is we want to cost the enemy a lot of IPCs, and then ourselves take a minimum amount of damage, or the cost to us. We want to keep our costs low and the enemy's costs high. And every battle that you do, you want at least a 2-to-1 ratio to occur. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Third attack is going to be down here in Egypt. There are a few things going for us right now. This does simulate the famous battle for North Africa with Rommel. Okay, so let's start setting up our moves here. So let's do the battle for the North Atlantic here. You're going to want to call in all the air support you possibly can. You have 2 subs in the Baltic, 1 battleship in the Baltic against 1 cruiser. I think that's worth 12, 1 transport worth 8, and 1 sub that I think is worth like 6 or something like that. Okay, next we're going to go up to Leningrad here. And what we're going to do, we'll put some units here on the transport, and we'll do an amphibious landing here into Leningrad. And this is basically just combat moving. It's getting all the units where we want to on the combat move. This is going to seem like overkill because it is. And I would use this out here, but it doesn't quite reach it. So when you use an air unit, it can go all the way out to sea, but it always has to land somewhere. There's no kamikaze fighters unless you have house rules to that effect. Okay, and that appears to be all the units that can make it up there. I purposefully saved this bomber to go to North Africa. And bombers are very powerful. Their hit die is 6 for an attack. The defense is only at a roll of 1. So they're not that great on the defensive. So we're going to do an amphibious landing there from our troops in Italy. And I would say probably this is a pretty risky attack here. But if you lose North Africa, it's not the end of the world. The Allies don't have a good way of getting from North Africa to mainland Europe. And you're able to supply mainland Europe pretty easily. And as you can see, there's not a lot of IPC production down here. So it's not that big of a deal. And this is probably going to be an attack that's not going to net us a lot of IPCs. But we'll see here. Okay, next round. Next phase, as they call it, I guess. Combat. Okay, so we'll head to the toughest one first. And what we're doing here is clearing out the sea zone. Okay, that was easy. So that the amphibious landing can occur. So that's going to happen almost every time. Your battleships can take 2 hits before they're destroyed. Oh, now it's taking us up here to Karelia. And this is going to be really easy. Oh man, he got one of our units. That sucks. But all of our units are in the proper positioning. We can reinforce Karelia, not this turn. Next turn, we can put 2 units there because it has a factory and 2 production. So that's important. And you can get that the first turn, so you could start reinforcing up there in the Leningrad area first turn. Okay, and here's the riskier attack down here in North Africa. Okay, got 1 hit. This is not going to go well. Unless they miss a lot. Okay, we'll try again. Okay, we're no longer able to take Egypt, but I'm going to press the attack. I guess they both roll at 4. I lied to you. Bombers roll at 4, not 6. Sorry about that. That was for if you're bombing an industrial complex. So we could press the attack here, but I don't really see the point. The bomber is worth a lot more than the fighter. I think fighters are worth 12, bombers are worth 16, something like that. So that was a major loss there, but no big deal. And then we'll do the battle for the North Atlantic. Do the submarine pre-rolls here. Oh, that was a battleship. Okay. And so this should net us 6 to 33 IPCs. Kind of makes up for North Africa, not really. And then basically what I want to do, let's move things into a nice position here. We're going to kind of need to recover here in North Africa. They'll most certainly move this fighter so it's not alone. If you see a fighter alone, definitely attack into it if you're not attacking with just a bomber, because it's so expensive and your opponent will not be able to put hits on a cheaper unit like the infantry unit. And as you can see here, so the fighters cannot land in a recently garnered territory. I'm going to put all the fighters in Finland because they're mainly threatened to attack by other air units. And we're going to take both these infantry and move them into Finland so that they could take hits. And then we're also going to start rotating here. Now, this transport will die first turn. If your opponent does not take that out, I think that's a missed opportunity for your opponent. And I move all my AA into Germany proper and redistribute them later when I have a stronger force in Western Europe. Now, what we're doing here, let's focus here on this battle right here. Our goal is Moscow. We're only one province away from Russia here, or Moscow, the capital. And we're able to resupply ourselves with 2 units a turn right here. Now, it is possible for the Allies to pop up behind us, but again, we can resupply, and we can fly airplanes over here fairly easily. We're also one province away from our capital. We can spawn 10 units in the capital. So tanks can get here into Moscow in 2 turns. And if you spawn tanks here, they can get to Moscow in 1 turn. That's super important. Now, you might ask, why not take the Caucasus? You could supply them with 4. It's a much more challenging fight in the beginning of the game, and I don't think you have enough infantry to pull it off, because I think you would suffer a lot of loss to your tanks and aircraft. It's not what you want. You want to preserve your tanks and aircraft as a priority. So what you're going to do here on turn 2 is take West Russia, and you're going to try to hold that. And if things go well, the Russians won't have a good counterattack against you here in Western Russia. And then hopefully by turn 4, after you had a little back and forth, you can take Russia and win the game. So that's my Germany strategy. And this is just the vanilla rules here for Axis and Allies 1942. I'm having a lot of fun playing this game, so I just wanted to share with you what I feel like is a very strong way to go. All right, guys, please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content, and I'll see you on the next one.